We can get started with a simple one because when we spoke in New England on Sunday, it was before the end of the results. So you didn't officially had taken the place of first in the East, but now you have it. Talk about how you and the team have celebrated and kept focus for Phil.
Yes, we have focus for Phil. We celebrated in the locker room because we deserve it to finish in the first position, because after that the league is about 9 or 8 months, and when you finish in the first position is because you deserve it. And we celebrated in New England, but right now we have focus in Philadelphia, because if you want to be fair with the MLS, we will try to play with the best player right now. Some players need to rest a little bit because, for example, Mitita has this confirmed the last 5 minutes in New England, and many players play a lot of minutes right now, and maybe we must give rest some players. But we will try to play with the best player. The reason why we have to be focused in the playoff, and the best way to prepare the playoff is to try to win the next game. That is the first one. And the second one, you have to be fair with the MLS, and you have to respect other teams. And for me, with my experience, is the best way to play against Philadelphia, because our job is to try to win the next game.
Tell me, you part of what happens, not only do you have the home field and you have the first round bye, but you clinched the Champions League spot by finishing first. I know that's still a few months away, but just how big is that for the club? The club has high aspirations, and to play in the Champions League against the best teams in this region, how big is that?
I think it's very important for our club, because it's the first time we will play the champions, and even for the future, because new city is a new club, and it's very important to make the next step. It's very important. The first step is to finish in the first position. The second step is to try to win the MLS Cup and to play the Champions League. It's very important because it's an international competition, and I'm very happy for the club, because when that happens, everybody is happy. The club is happy with the players, with me, with everybody. But the most important thing is to keep experience in our club and with our players to play the international competition. It's important because it's the next step for the MLS, it's the next step for us, and for the American players as well. But especially for our club, because it's the first time we will play this important competition for the American football.
So, and finishing first, you get that first round off.
Uh-huh.
So I guess there's at least 17 days between when you play
17 or
Philadelphia.
18.
17 or 8. Oh, you already have that figured out. So how, in your experience, your European experience, you never really have those kind of breaks, right?
No, usually in Europe, when you finish the competition, you have 1 week, 10 days maximum. But
so what do you think you'll do? I mean, how are you going to handle it?
We have to keep the intensity in every single training. You have to keep we have to compete to each other, because right now we have a good team, and everybody has possibilities to start to play in the playoff. And when that happens, you have to, I say many times, to choose the right players to play the first playoff games. Will be not easy because it's not a cup game, but how important is after 2 games, if you are able to win 2 games, you will play the final. It's just 2 games. That is it's very important to be focused in every single training, because you don't have any games in 17
Right.
or 18 days. But it's my job. It's my job to convince them how important it is to be focused every single day before Philadelphia, after Philadelphia, and we will try to arrive in the right moment in the first game in the playoff with the best team and the best form.
Do you feel, you and your staff, that you've had so many moments recently of a lot of games in a short period of time, but to be able to prepare for one game and have all that time, don't you feel, with the way you prepare for the opponent, that's a very good thing? You have more time to prepare?
No, you have more time to prepare, but sometimes it's like a trap, because it's 18 days is not easy. Because sometimes you finish in the best form, and you have to try to play in the best form again. But I spoke many times with my staff, with the fitness coach, with the performance coach, about that. With the former fitness coach, we work with me in Bayern Munich, in Man City. But I think the best way to prepare the first game is try to play a friendly game in between,
Right.
or a friendly game with the academy players, the mix,
Mm-hmm.
But we need to compete a little bit, because if not, it's not the same to training 12, 13 days. It's not the same to compete or to play a friendly game.
Yeah.
But we will try to find the best way to prepare the first game.
You also you've worked so hard, like you said, for 8 or 9 months now to earn the right to have your playoff games at home, and the club just announced the possibility of not being. I know that's out of your hands, but does it take away the home field advantage that you guys have worked so hard for if you have to play at Citi Field?
If that happened, the first idea for me when I thinking about that is I'm a coach, and I have to adapt quickly if that happen. If that happen, we will try to training at least 3 or 4 days before the game in the Northern Stadium. But sometimes can happen, because everybody knows we have another team in our stadium. But it's not an excuse. It is what it is. We know that. Maybe we have to play in another stadium. It's not an excuse. The best for us is to try to prepare in the best way to play the playoff. And I don't know what will happen. Maybe we play in the Yankee Stadium, maybe not. But if that happens, we have to adapt quickly. I say to my players, not excuse. Not excuse is another field. Maybe the size is not the same, because we have to adapt quickly. It's not excuse, because if you waste time about that, sometimes you lose the control, and how important it is to be focused on other things. For example, the invisible training, that means rest well, eat well, focus in every single second in the facility. For me, it's more important to be focused, not to play in another stadium.
Would you, you talked about the size of the field. Would your preference be to keep it the same size as Yankee Stadium, because that's how you've played, or if you had a chance to make it wider, would you?
No, it's. We won many games in Yankee Stadium, but I think it's about maybe the atmosphere, because we have our fans, not the size, because I prefer to play maybe the best performance, forget Atlanta or Red Bulls. We play really well against DC in DC, against Galaxy in Galaxy, And the reason why maybe is the size of the stadium, because we have the right players to place maybe in the Galaxy Stadium, DC Stadium, not in the Yankee Stadium, because in the Yankee Stadium when the opponent defend really well and defend with 5, with 6 in the back, it's not easy to attack.
Right.
It's not easy. I understand the opponent when they talk about the Yankee Stadium, but if you want to defend, it's better to defend in the Yankee Stadium, not in the Northern Stadium. But for me, the important is our fans, because when we have the support our fans, we play much better. Maybe that is one of the reasons why we got more points in the Yankee Stadium, because we have our supporters.
Would you make it wider though at Citi Field if you could? Would you try to make it wider?
I don't know this stadium.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know this stadium. It's the first time. If we have to play there, I don't know what will happen. But if that happen, the most important thing for me, if that happen, is to try to training at least 3 or 4
Sure.
days in this stadium to adapt quickly, the size, the field, you know. For me, that is the most important thing. But it's not excuse, because it's not as simple for me to say, oh, maybe we are not able to win the game for the stadium. Okay, maybe. But maybe it's because we don't play well, maybe it's because it's the red card, maybe it's because the referee in that moment make a mistake, maybe it's because Dome make a mistake and play with another players is not the best players, you know.